to a new episode where we'll be looking at how we used surveys, prototypes to run our remote usability tests. So now we've come up with a couple of questions, and we let the users know that we aim to evaluate the ease of use, clarity, and efficiency of transaction history and statement generation. We let them know that the feedback would be very, very important and all. And we put the link so that they do know that this is where they can do the usability test and all that. So yeah, I know we're targeting people that are tech savvy, but I mean, if we can get a lot of people that understand that understand the the process through this, it means when we work on the app, it will be very nice. But let's look at the kind of questions we ask. So we're expecting them to carry out the usability test, whereby this is our prototype link, which when you click it, it says you history. I want our users to know if they are familiar with it, and we want them to know if so. We put the generate statement as a fixed button down here, and the reason for this is accessibility. Now you can come up with your designs and put it elsewhere you like, because our computer puts it on the top right or one in the air, so that it's something they could easily generate. Once they click it, they have the options of putting the custom, and you can see the start date, the end date. You can select 2 months, so that automatically takes away the start date, leaves you a notification so you get the statement for the last 60 days, and for the 1 month, get the statement for the last 30 days. And so that's kind of like the thing. And so if we go back to our custom and we check the email, I said it tell you statement will be sent to your official mail. So you see, we're trying to make sure that the user understands every action he takes on this place, and he won't be confused. And we also put the account number whereby they will be able to see what they're generating. Now, being that I'm the one that designed this, I would understand it. So in my head, I feel the experience is dope. You understand? But when I generate statement, it tells me this is statement for this count from this to this, and it's also be providing the monthly summations along with the distance. So clarity, do I understand? I feel this is transferred to this person. Rather than I use the account number, you can use the account name, because I think people reflect well with their names of the accounts compared to the account number. It can decide to put the account number in brackets by the side, but transaction statements have become very easy these days. You transfer to this, and this was 10,000 naira. It was successful, and obviously we're using this sign as the one that leaves the account is the debits. This one was successful, this one was failed. So if you're a trader, this one went, this one did not go, so you know what to do at the end, and you can see your submissions for the month. So this is what we want them to do, and when they're done, they come back to the form and answer the following questions, and we say, how easy was it to navigate the transaction history? We're using very difficult as 1 and very easy. So it was 1 to how intuitive was the process of generating a statement? Same thing. 1 non-intuitive, very intuitive. So we could stick to languages that are more very easy or not very easy, in case whoever gets this link doesn't understand intuitive. You have to go down low to consider understanding people, but for the sake of our case study, just wanted to look a little bit more up there. Did you encounter any difficulties in finding past transaction? If yes, please describe. Go over to transaction details. Were the transaction details clearly displayed? Yes, no, maybe. Did you feel the transaction detail provided enough information for verification? Yes or no. If no, just provide additional context. How easy was it to locate the transaction? The generate statement feature. Very difficult, very easy. So you tell us how it feels. Error handling. Did you encounter any errors or issues while accessing the transaction? So we want to know whether they lost their track, because we have this bottom navigation that we took away, where you enter a place. We just removed it, and if you notice on our nav bar, it's more simple. We still manage to show the statements per month and still show the ads as well. And this on this different behavior, I mentioned something about the customer care help sign behaving. We just hang it on the top. So it will just, the goal is to make them curious. As if we're doing an overall sound and wanted them to know how to get maybe customer care. But if it's hanging there, just tap on this and it leads you, so that the other items here behave like the navigations bar and whatnot. Let's go back to our form. So we go and check the satisfaction rates on a scale of 1 to 10. How satisfied are you with this usability, with transaction history and general statement? So 10 being the highest, 1 within. What improvement would you suggest to enhance your experience with these features? Just give us that last minute open-ended question where you can just describe what you want. So you see, we kind of mixed all types of questions. We mixed add a little bit of subjective. No, we didn't use subjective actually. We actually used objective and open-ended questions. So the objective is to get ideal, because that's what we'll use to measure the performance of our usability tests. The open-ended question is just to get a feedback on how the user feels. Being that it will differ among different people, we can easily use that to tell whether it's positive. So this will be the one to tell us how positive the experience is, and this will just provide more clarity on how positive it is. Now let's go to the answers, and what we have, I'll go into looking at the individual listing. So what we have is a lot of 54% of our 5 people really enjoyed our navigation. 3 people this thing. 1 did not really like it. It was very hard to navigate, and 1, just on the fence. There's always going to be 1 on the fence. So how intuitive was the process in generating this thing? I don't know whether, and these are some of the things, and that's why we put this scale. Is you never can tell whether the user here really thinks 1 is the best, but whatever it is, it still counts as data. So have a lot of people choosing that this is very intuitive in generating statements. So it means the bottom navigation works compared to where the history works. The bottom navigation works. 3 people, 1 is just on the fence, and if you say okay, they can easily generate a statement, that is good. Now, did you encounter any difficulties in finding paths? If yes, please describe. So okay, someone just had to put no, it was hard to find older ones. Yes, because it's a prototype. We can't just be creating scrollable, I could have done that, but hard to look for it. Meant hard to look for it. No, I did not. The prototype is not functional. The page was static. So I'm guessing they are talking about the scrolling and stuff like that. So yeah, so that means in the next design or your next iteration, you have it a little bit more scrollable, so that it will feel as if they're checking the distance. So that's a prototyping issue on our part. We'll take note of it and we'll fix it. So it's your job to fix it. I've done my part. No, it was seamless. I love that. So where the transaction details clearly displayed, I mean, there are a lot of people were positive. I know that okay, the transaction displays were clearly detailed. I just have a feeling that this one person, one person, yes, you just have a feeling that this one person is that same person. you know, in some cases, you might want to actually bring this one person in some cases, if there's one guy that was just, you can't really ignore it. There might be something he has seen that you want to know. Come over. Can you just really? And that's if you put out their contact details and email. You can decide to reach out in a one-on-one. Understand why this person, because he might see something that maybe the others are not saying. So we might want to know. Maybe he's I don't want to do this to people that did my own test, but I'm just saying in a different scenario. Maybe the colors, he might be colorblind. He might have some um he might have some issues. Maybe the texts are too small. He might have, so you need to like know whether maybe there's a demographic we've ignored, because consistently I've noticed that one person does not like this thing, and that's where your research and discovery now has to go in. Let's figure out this one person, or what, if most people just like, we just go with it. Now, did you feel the transaction details provided enough information. Yes, so they felt it provided enough. And there's that one guy again. Uh, it feels like a normal interface I'm used to. That's actually good feedback. But again, there's this one guy again. So you have to really know whether he's hating or he's just trying to just enjoy himself. He's here. Okay, there's two now. How easy was it to locate the statements feature? And we have a lot of people here. We have less people. Fine, fine. We don't have anyone on the fence. I'm guessing this person maybe transferred to this place, but you never can tell. It's good review. It's good data. You are validating your work. You know how people really feel about your work. And did you encounter any errors or issues while accessing transaction history or generating a statement? No, no. Yes, I did. And let's now know, because I need to know what the person did. Phil, it was the process of generating using a custom option. I couldn't access the calendar icon to select the date I wanted. Oh, so that's a fault on our part. So hey guys, you guys know what to do on this part. Go get them the calendar thingy, app done my own part. You guys finish it up so that you can get better data and all that. So this is actually good. So I feel he wanted to click everything. You see, that's good info. We were just making the prototype just straightforward. But he's like, I want this thing very interactive. So that's it, guys. You need to look at those things and all that. But probably if you join a company, you really have to build the prototype and send it out to them and all that. Not many people will understand that it's design. They might actually think it's a product they're playing with or something. So use your job to put all those clarity and all. And maybe that's why those one-on-one interviews would help and you get other validated answer. How satisfied are you with the usability of the transaction history and statement generation? So I don't know whether this is the same guy, because I had yes I did and there's a yes. Maybe this yes is that guy that is consistent, and this is the one that towards this mid he just switched from that middle to this part. So you can see we're actually getting actual human engagement and it's fun. So we have lots of people that love 10, 9, 8, 7, which is pretty much a good score, overall score. And we got this one guy again, and stuff like that. Now, what improvements would you suggest to enhance your experience with these features? I'm looking for the transaction history at the bottom. I'm sure it's supposed to be there. Transaction history at the bottom. So guys, you need to go and do more research and check where they normally put their transaction history. I'm not really familiar, but they kind of put it in the place where you see it. So I'm looking for transaction history at the bottom. I know I don't blame the person for saying that, because in some cases, yeah, they put the transaction history towards the end in some apps. Like they don't put a link, they actually load a small table and say, oh, transaction is there and you can view more. And I've seen those experiences, so they make it more accessible. So maybe that's what our user is talking about. So it's very, very important to get these details and understand where you're coming from. Carry out more research. Remember when we did our case study, we just went with a primary, and the one we used, they actually put it at the top. So it's okay to further investigate whether more users are likely to find their transaction history at the bottom or at the top. If the calendar icon under custom option can be worked, overall it's a great project. Well done to the team. So they're talking about the pop-ups, and I think someone raised that issue earlier whereby the calendar icon was not popping up. And yeah, with it's something you guys will go and work on when you go do your own designs. The history and statement generation process are seamless flows. I did suggest that the month and date colors are a bit sharper, though I couldn't see it well, but in all it was easy to navigate. Now when we look at those month and date colors, yes, I think they're talking about this. I think they're talking about this. Let me look at the history and okay, so this is context. Probably the text we use are too small, and we need to build for inclusiveness. So we need to check and verify whether the text we're using are too small. It was when we clicked here that it was a bit dull, and the reason we grade it out is when we're going 2 months, we're backtracking, so we want to know what exactly was the issue. And yeah, we can always invite that person to come over. And I will like to know, when I click the transaction details, I see more information, info like recipient bank details and receipt generation. You see, this is very good because our personas complained about receipt generation, but I intentionally skipped it because that's the assignment for you guys. So I want you guys to work on the receipt generation and view more details. The reason being that is I want your portfolio, your case study to be different or unique in its own way. So do that and add it to the case study I'm going to show you in the next episode, right? Now, in the transaction history, clicking a transaction should open details. We've seen two people complain about that. So this is good feedback. So guys, you got work to do. No improvement as to what I would have wanted was already in the custom section. In situations where I don't want it to be monthly based but weekly or days have been solved by my custom section. So the person is saying he doesn't need the 2 months or the 1 month, but we are trying to check some diverse users, and if it doesn't work for you, it's fine. We'll use that to compare whether that experience works for others, whereby they just want, I want my one statement for the month and all that. Because we're looking at the guy that needs to do reimbursements, and what if they say, oh, give us your, and he just pulls it off so that he can easily take screenshots and all that. So it's different for different people, and this is the part where we've used surveys and prototyping to conduct structured usability tests. So now we're going to the fun part, and which is the case study. And I'm so happy that we've come this far. So I'll just show you how you can get started with your case study, and you can just use my case study, copy and whip out the same thing, and all that. So well done, guys. We're getting there. I'll see you in the next episode.